Hi there. Welcome, my friend. My name is Beth Gear, and what I have here is a video. It's a hypnosis script based on the teachings of a book called A Course in Miracles. I've put this together for assistance for people to go within and reach the light within. So this is Hypnosis 1. I call it Mountain Path. Before I get to that, though, I want to explain myself a little bit. I want to explain this. I don't normally wear a green wig. I don't normally wear gray coveralls, chore coveralls. I'm wearing this because I want you to judge me. Judge me. I say this because we judge people all the time, and we do it without even thinking. We judge weight, gender, hair color, tattoos, piercings, views, and heaven help us if somebody says something we don't like. Anything that doesn't conform to what we believe is appropriate, whether it be visual or what they feel or think, we get defensive. We become afraid because it's someone different than us and we don't understand them. We can't relate. Deep down inside, we want to have peace with everybody. And we can't as long as we see differences, as long as we see someone else as other than ourselves. And people fight wars over beliefs, the color of skin. You think you don't do this. I know. I don't want to say I'm a prejudiced person. I feel like I'm not. But we still have problems with other people. We have problems with family members, co-workers. Every relationship we have is walking on a tightrope. It could go one way or the other depending on how the person treats us from one day to the next. And then we get mad and now there's conflict with someone you say you love. Why does that happen? We see them as different than us. We don't like what they're thinking, what they're doing, what they're saying, how they look. It doesn't matter what it is. It's something we don't like because it's not conforming to our ego. What we say they should be and do and act like and how they should look. So I'm having you judge me because I know if I saw someone walking down the street wearing this, I would do a double take. This is a Halloween wig. Actually, I bought it for St. Patrick's Day. And these are my actual chore clothes. I've got horses, and when I feed them hay in the winter, I get hay all over myself. So this is really what I wear. Not the wig. I don't even wear that anymore for Halloween. Anyway, I'm going to take that off now, and then I'm going to continue on and explain what this hypnosis session is about and how it's going to help you heal all discomfort inside yourself. Heal that feeling of anxiety, of discontentment, of it's going to bring about peace. So anyway, I'm going to take this off because it's hot, it's itchy. You can't see the little hairs on my face, but it's really, really uncomfortable. So I'm going to take this off now. And yes, I'm wearing clothes underneath. That might disappoint some of you, and some of you will be happy to hear that. Either way, whatever. So here's the regular me. There we go. Adjust the pants. Okay. Ta-da. Everybody's got to adjust their pants. And now the wig. There's my natural hair color. I don't even color my hair. This is the real me. Now, again, this is I can't get this out. A little screw in here. So now, you think, there she is. There's Beth. Those of you who do know me, there's the Beth we see every day. It's still not me. We all have a sameness, something that is the same in all of us, that if we can see past all of this, we have a way to bond together, to love one another, to bring peace to yourself and to the world. and it isn't this. It goes beyond this. And no, I'm not taking any more clothes off. No, it's something you know all about already. It's the light inside, right? We all have an inner light. We all agree we're alive. There is a life moving this body around, but we can't see it. But I'll tell you, we once could see it. We could see it when we weren't in these bodies. That's another point I need to make. When we're born, we all are born with amnesia. We can't remember who we were, where we came from, or how we related to one another before we came into these bodies. Why is that? We completely accept that as normal. We just accept it because that's what happens to everybody and it's part of life. No one questions it. No one asks, why are we robbed of our memory, our spiritual memory? We only have memories of when we're in this body. We don't have any of our spiritual memories. That has been a question that has plagued me my entire life. Where did I come from? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? I've always felt like this place has never been my home. I bet 100% of you could agree with that. It doesn't feel like my home. And I feel like I shouldn't even be here. Maybe I came to the wrong place. Maybe it's punishment. I don't know. And in my life, I've had 3 profound spiritual experiences. They can be called out-of-body experiences. They can be called near-death experiences, whatever. One happened when I was 12, another when I was about 16 or 17, and another just about 12 years ago. Or not 12 years ago, 4 years ago. And I left my body. I can't explain it. I could go into detail about the experience, but it was an out-of-body experience of oneness and overwhelming love. A total and complete love of everything, of oneness with all living things. And because the one that happened when I was 12 had such a profound impact on me, I began searching. I began reading books. I have hundreds of books on spiritual everything. Aliens, near-death experiences, angels. Eckhart Tolle has been a very big influence on me over the past 10 years. And it's always been this ongoing search, and never could I find the answers. I have read the Bible. I think everyone who has read it agrees that it doesn't explain why we're here. And if nothing else, a lot of it increases fear in spiritual phenomenon. And speaking of spiritual phenomenon, throughout this time, since the age of 12, I began meditating. I began hearing angels. I'd write down the messages from the angels during and after meditation. And I filled notebooks full of messages from angels. And then I threw them away when I became older because I thought it was nonsense. I don't know why. I don't know why. But that led to tarot reading, which I've been doing for about 25 years, a lot of psychic work, a lot of medium work with spirits in the afterlife. I've practiced Reiki for about 5 years now, all in the hopes of finding answers, going within. I've done past life regression, past life hypnosis. That just showed me more past lives. It didn't answer my questions about where we were, where we came from before we were born. I'm dying to know who I am, and I know a lot of other people are too. So that leads me to this book, A Course in Miracles. I discovered this about 12 years ago. I was standing in Barnes & Noble 2 years even before that, so 14 years ago, and I found it. And I looked at it and I thought, that is an intimidating book. It is big. It looks really boring. And it says, preface, text, workbook for students, manual for teachers. Bleh. Who has time to read this? Just tell me the answer. Why does it have to take 1,200 pages? So I put the book back on the shelf. And I went back to the bookstore thinking, I can't get that book out of my mind. It's been a few months. I can't get that book out of my mind. I think I'm going to go buy that book. And I went to the bookstore, and it wasn't on the shelf. So I bought something else. Went back to the bookstore, not looking for that book, and there it was. I looked at it, I hemmed and hawed. No, it looks like a lot of work. I don't have time to do a workbook or study text. So I put it back. And so the book and I went back and forth like this for months, maybe a couple years, till finally my oldest daughter, who was a little crawly baby at the time, so I know she was less than a year old, during that time I felt exhausted. You know, you're not getting a lot of sleep when you have a little toddler in the house, a little less than 1-something-year-old, and I was just kind of tired of life, just tired of all of it, and just thinking, is this it? We're born, we work, we die. You just, you know, this just feels really meaningless. It feels really meaningless. Like, what is the point? What am I supposed to be doing? I stood there in the aisle in front of the books and I went, just tell me what I'm supposed to do, and that's what I'll do. Whatever it is, I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how ridiculous it sounds. Tell me what to do so I can quit coming here. I'd like to stop coming back. I'd like to finish whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing here. I know we have a purpose. I just, why are we sent here without knowing what it is? It seems ridiculous. And so I stared at the bookshelf, and this caught my eye again. And I went, So I pulled it off, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking at it, and the voice inside me, the voice that spoke whenever I asked a psychic question or, you know, interacted with the deceased or whatever, any of my psychic work, said, read this. Do exactly what it says, and you'll find peace. Okay, I said, all right. If all I have to do is read this book and do what it says, I don't even care what it says. I'll do it, whatever it takes. I want inner peace. So I brought it home, started reading it. I didn't understand a single word it said. It made no sense. It talked about miracles, and I thought, what, a course in miracles? What kind of miracles are we talking here? Walking on water, or the miracle of a flower blooming? You know, is this hypothetical miracles we're talking, or are you just going to feel happy inside, or are we going to raise some dead people here? I was determined to find out, so I kept going. And this thing, it's at least divided into small sections. So I'd read just a section, and I found I'd have to read a sentence over and over again just to understand what it was saying. And I thought, these are words I know. Why can't I understand it? Why is it so hard to stick in my brain? I got halfway through the text. It's divided into 3 sections. The text, which is just material to read. Then it's the workbook, which is comprised of 365 daily lessons. Each lesson is supposed to be done each day, and it's just basically positive thinking. It's retraining your mind to not have unloving thoughts. Okay, so I got halfway through the text, which is 600 and some pages, and a light bulb went on. I realized when I read the material that when I was done reading the page or 2, I'd feel better. And I wouldn't know why. I wouldn't know exactly even what I read that made me feel better. So I'd open up the book again and go, I don't know even what I read. It makes me feel so much better. Okay, I'd close the book and boop, it'd all go out of my head. I wouldn't be able to retain a thing, but I would feel better. So I kept going. Because in the beginning, I'd put it away for days, weeks, sometimes months. But I'd always come back to it because I was determined to find out what these miracles were. I want to know, somewhere in here, it's got to tell me exactly what's going on. And the words were so profound and so rich with love and peace that even though I didn't understand them, I was experiencing the effect. I come to find later that the reason most people don't understand this book when they first read it is because the ego does not want you to know the truth. What is this anyway? Who wrote this, and what are these words? Where'd they come from? I'm going to just briefly go into it. You can Google it. You can read the whole story about Helen. this woman started hearing this inner voice, and she started writing down what she heard, and it took her 7 years to take all this down. It was first published in 1975. And at some point she realized it was Jesus speaking to her, and this is the full message. The message he couldn't deliver 2,000 years ago because we just didn't have the capacity to accept being kind to one another, much less the level of love this book is challenging us with. Okay, so I got through the text and I thought, okay, I really like this. I'm starting to get it. Let's do these lessons. Are we going to have to journal every day? Am I going to have to do hours of hard, I don't know, spiritual work? Whatever it's going to entail. I'll do it. It wasn't hard. Not a lot was asked. Just read the sentence, the idea for the day, and hold it in your mind and think of it as often as possible. And they're all very loving lessons. And as I worked my way through them, and I didn't understand half of them, I felt like I was having some sort of brainwashing. And then I thought, well, that is brainwashing. My brain could use a good washing. Really, really. If I really looked at my thoughts, I have a lot of negative thoughts that I'm not even aware I'm having. And who couldn't stand to step those up a little bit to something more loving? And then I thought, it's kind of cultish, Can I be in a cult all by myself? No one's making me do these lessons. No one's making me do anything. The driving force is something inside me that loves love. Something inside me loves being loving and extending it to others, and it wants me to have more of that. And learning what's in here was giving me more of that. So I kept going, and when the whole book was finished, I read it cover to cover. I went, okay, transform me. What happens now? Am I going to start glowing? Do I just evaporate? Am I going to turn into some holy being of enlightenment? No, absolutely nothing happened. So I went, did I not do it right? I mean, I really, really tried. I did one lesson a day for an entire year. I read the text. I read the manual for teachers. So what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I magically transformed into, a miracle worker? So I started over with the lessons again. And the very first lesson is, nothing I see means anything. And I thought, I still don't know what that means. And that voice inside me said, nobody, and I said, I don't know what that means, and I must be the worst student ever, and I'm failing this course. I totally failed the Course in Miracles, is what I thought. And that's when that voice inside spontaneously stepped in and said, you are not the worst student ever. No one understands the lessons right away, and no one can fail my course. Here's what you need to do. And that's when I started writing my book. I have a book that I'm currently trying to get published. It's called Awakening to One Love, and it's about my journey through this book with the Holy Spirit. Because that voice, that light inside you, who you really are, is the Holy Spirit. And that is the sameness that connects everybody. Everybody is alive through the same life force. And we can't see it because we're in these bodies. So then my next question is, why are we in these bodies to begin with? Why don't we just stay where we were at if it was so awesome being wherever we were? Don't tell me it was worse, because really, I couldn't handle that. Good thing it's not. It's not. This right now where we're living is as bad as it gets, okay? So, according to the Course in Miracles, what happened is, here's God. I'm going to call him God, and I'm going to call Jesus him. I'm going to use him and God in male pronouns, because that's what I'm comfortable with. You can call God whatever you want. But be careful that you're not avoiding the word Father or God because you're afraid of it. Be very careful of your feelings. If you feel any kind of angst or discomfort there, there's fear. And we want to move past that. We want to move towards love and acceptance. So here's God, who is love, who is light, who is the creator of all. And he says, I do not will to be alone. And so he had a thought. That thought was us. you and I. We are each an individual loving thought of God. He thought of you specifically and brought you into being. You are a specific thought of God, and how awesome is that? How holy and profound that you're a thought of God. Now you feel like I'm a really crappy thought because I do crappy things and I think crappy things. That's not you. That's your ego. The real you is innocent and loving. It's everything that's the best about you. Okay, so here he thought all these little thoughts, populated whatever, heaven, with untold numbers of thoughts, which are you and I. And we're all interconnected and we all love each other because we're grouped together under this umbrella of love, and we're sustained by it because we were created by it. And we were given the exact same powers as God because we were made by love. Love can't make anything other than what it is. It only has love to work with. So we are pure love and have the same power of manifestation as God. And what did we do with it? We made this place. We did this. I know the Bible says that God made the world in 7 days, yada, yada, yada. That's fine. We don't know the truth, and the ego doesn't want you to know the truth. So we said, oh, we are awesome. We have power just like God. I'm going to have a thought that's different than his. I'm going to try and be a God all by myself. I'm going to make my own world. And we did. And the second we had that thought, the second we had a thought that was separate from God's thoughts, separation occurred. We lost our memory. We lost our memory because you cannot have something separate and still retain the whole. Separation is to leave. And our memories left us so that we could experience the autonomy that we desired. What we didn't realize is that it would suck so bad, that it would hurt, and that it would cause pain and suffering. And if you're a being of love and light, you cannot stay a being of love and light and still be separate from God. So we had to create an alternate personality that was also separate. And that's when the ego was born. The ego needs a place to live, so the Big Bang happened. We made the universe. So what did God create besides his thoughts of us? Well, he has an alternate universe. Other dimensions that we know are out there that our scientists have proven or whatever, have theories, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But we know the possibility of alternate realities and other dimensions exists. This one covers those dimensions because we're holding it in place with our thoughts of separation, our thoughts of differences from one another. We need to undo that choice to separate by having loving thoughts and thoughts of unity with one another and sameness rather than differences. So over eons, this world, this universe, whatever, the entire planetary system evolved, and it took eons to get where we are right now. And without the words in this book and the loving words from other teachers and other books, it will take even more eons to return to where we were, to return our minds back to the wholeness. This book is an accelerator. It's not for everybody. What I'm talking about is not for everybody. You may not be ready, but I want to accelerate you so that you return to the oneness, so that you regain your memory of your true identity, the identity you hold when you're not in a body. And you can regain that while you're still in a body and live here enlightened. That was Jesus. That was how he worked miracles. He knew we were all one, and he didn't believe we were bodies, not even for a second. That's how he raised the dead. That's how he transformed water into wine. He knew all material things were an illusion. This world is not real. I know that sounds crazy. This is real. This is real. It's physical, but it's not real. There's either what's real and what's not. The only things that are real are eternal, because God can only create what is eternal. So, nothing we see outside of us will last forever. All of it is temporary. All of it will degrade with time. Even mountains crumble. This whole planet will one day implode and disappear, change into a different form of energy, what have you, but it's not forever. The only things that are real are what are eternal, and you can't see that with your eyes because your eyes are part of the illusion. It shows you only more illusion that we made with our ego. So if we want to return to the world that God created, we have to recognize only what is eternal, to change around our thoughts so we manifest what is eternal, and what is not eternal will disappear, literally disappear. And that sounds a little frightening, but it isn't. It's a simple, gentle transformation, and I know it's true because I went there 3 times. I had 3 out-of-body experiences throughout my life, so I know this place exists, and I'm determined to find it, and I'm determined to get there. So, the easy rule of thumb, what's real and what's not? Can you take it with you when you die? So, the body, nope, that's not real. Money, nope. In fact, pretty much everything that you can lay your hands on, none of it goes with you when you die. And there's a reason you can't take it with you. It's because God doesn't want it. He doesn't want any of this stuff. He wants your light. He wants your spirit, the life within. That's the only thing that can leave this place because it's the only thing that's real within you. And if we don't start acknowledging it in other people as who they really are and giving them the respect and love that is their due as fellow thoughts of God with us, we're going to be stuck here lifetime after lifetime after lifetime trying to work it out the slow way, the way that's painful, the way that takes you down a road of pain until you get to a spot where you're like, I can't take this anymore. There's got to be another way. And when you're ready, that other way will be waiting. And it's the path of love and light. So, what am I doing here with these meditations and this hypnosis? Well, in the Course in Miracles, it talks about the light within. And many of those 365 lessons, a few of them, I guess I shouldn't say many, but a lot of them, talk about going within and joining with the light inside you, letting go of everything outside of you. Everything outside of you is represented by fog and by clouds inside your mind. You have to move past all the things you see. You have to let go of everything you know about the world. Let go everything you believe about other people because you don't know what it looks like in truth as God created it. All we see is what our ego has twisted our reality into. We want to move past that veil into the light within where there's true healing. And you can awaken your true self. And when you awaken that light, you become a miracle worker. Because miracles come from loving thoughts. And you literally transform the very fabric of the universe with your loving thoughts. The trouble is, people like me, we read these books and then we go, okay, that's nice. We close the book, we go out into the world, and we forget everything we learned. It's like I need like an IV of spiritual words going into me so I don't forget that I love other people, because I do forget. I'm a pharmacist by trade, and I'll have customers come in and maybe they've been crabby in the past, and I'm like, oh, here comes so-and-so. Ooh, I hope they're not mean today. Stop it. And we can do this. There is a method to this. I'm sorry I'm going on a long time. I'm going to wrap it up here in a second, get right to the hypnosis. The method is, first, there is a rule in the universe. What you give is what you receive. I think we're all familiar with giving and receiving. What you give is what you receive. The trouble is, the ego is a getting mechanism. The ego wants. So every time you feel want inside you, and it's going to feel like anxiety, depression, an ache, something didn't go my way. Something in the world is not the way I want it. I am upset. Whenever you feel anything that is not peace or not love, that's the ego talking. The way to silence it is to stop wanting and give instead. And when you give, you're going to receive what you're giving. So make sure you switch it around, that you replace that thought with, but wait, I don't want what the world is giving me because it was made by the ego. And if I'm asking the ego for something and the ego isn't real, I'm going to get nothing. And I'm going to be disappointed again and again and again. And that's how the world works. We attain whatever money we wanted. We get the partner we wanted. We have the baby we wanted, or we get the job or the house. It never lasts. That pain comes back because it's from the world. And the world is not eternal. We want our eternal, permanent memories of happiness. The happiness that doesn't go away no matter what happens to us. We want the happiness that can outlast any storm outside of us. We want inner peace. So, replace any wanting or need or ache. Stop dead in your tracks and say, whoa, whoa, I'm not listening to the ego. I want to hear the Holy Spirit inside me. I want peace instead of this. Whatever this is, I know these things end in disaster every time. I know I never have lasting happiness from it. I want peace. And in order to have peace, you have to extend it to others. So extend only peace, because that's what you want. Now, so we are realizing we have the ego and the Holy Spirit. Then we realize we want peace. And then all you do is sit back and watch your thoughts. You go through your day and you just stay vigilant against any kind of thoughts of attack, of separation, of seeing people as other than one with you. Stop asking for things from the world. And when you clear a space that allows the Holy Spirit to come in and give you what He would have you have, the ego will barge into your mind unannounced and without any care about your inner peace. The Holy Spirit has to be invited because He is peace. Peace doesn't force itself on anybody. It has to be invited. And the way you invite peace and the Holy Spirit and His guidance and His voice is by letting go of the thoughts that hurt. Letting go of anything inside you that is not peace. And you clear that altar, you clear that space, and He moves in your life and works miracles. So, we're giving, not taking. We're being vigilant for peace, and we're watching our thoughts so we don't manifest more of this world. We want to manifest heaven on earth. We want to become miracle workers. That's what we're doing. So, what's going to happen is, I'm going to start this hypnosis script, and you're going to go about your life when we're done, and you're going to feel wonderful afterwards. It's very peaceful. You're going to feel awesome when you're done going through this with me. But I have a disclaimer. The ego will put up a fight. It will buck. The ego does not want to be let go of. It does not want to be undone. It sees itself as being destroyed. You're going to possibly experience bouts of anxiety, bouts of depression, bouts of anger. Your outside world may fall apart. I don't know, your house might burn down. Somebody might die. Some sort of upheaval will take place within you or outside of you. Either way, it's the ego rearing up its head saying, I'm not leaving. You can't displace me. You can't replace me with peace. I am conflict, and I want you to know that conflict is real, and that is your experience. You're stuck here. You're stuck here. You're not going nowhere. Ride through it. Breathe through it. Come back to the hypnosis. Come back to the meditation. And let it pass. This is a phase, a temporary phase of undoing. There is always some discomfort at this point when you realize you're consciously changing your mind from conflict to peace. We don't want to be separate from God. We want to undo that choice and return. Now here's the thing. We aren't even separate. It never happened. You cannot separate from what's giving you life. If we could, we'd die. We need God, or whatever you want to call Him. We need that life force, or we would cease to exist. We are not existing independent of ourselves. We just sort of don't think about it too much. We try not to think about the fact that we're alive and that there is something sustaining us, because it sounds too scary. Because if it decided to not want us anymore, we might cease to exist. God cannot unthink us or unlove us, because we are part of Him. If He were to do that, He would be trying to undo Himself, and that's impossible. So, you're safe, you're fine. If anything happens to you that you're unhappy with because of the undoing of your ego, I am warning you about it. So consider that I'm not liable because you're going into this with open eyes. You know stuff might happen to you, but it's only a phase. And once the rough parts are over, your life is going to be so much more peaceful and so much more loving. And we're going to do this in gradual phases. That's why I have 12 of these workshops. And this is the first one, so it could be a little rough for you from this point on, but it's a good thing. It's all a good thing. Go with any emotions that come up and let the ego roll with it, and know it's not going to drag you back down again. It's time to awaken. It's time to become a miracle worker. It's time to see the light and love in one another, our true identity, instead of the body, which we made with the ego. So, with that in mind, I'd like to begin the hypnosis script. I have to read it because I don't have it memorized. It's 12 pages. I recommend you stop the video right now and get a pair of headphones. That way there's no outside distractions. My voice is right in your ears, and that's all you're going to hear. Get comfortable, but not so comfortable you fall asleep. I've had a few people fall asleep because it is very relaxing. So if you're curled up in the fetal position or you're laying in a bed, maybe prop yourself up with some pillows. So get comfortable, but not so comfortable that you just zonk out, because you're going to miss it. It doesn't have the same effect if you're actually unconscious. You have to consciously participate and listen to the words. Okay. With that being said then, stop looking at me. Close your eyes. I'm going to begin the hypnosis script number 1, called Mountain Path. We're going to go deep within. We're going to go past the surface layer of our subconscious. We're going to go to the light within. We're going to merge with our holy self, the self God created us as, not as we have changed ourselves into with the power He gave us. We want to undo that choice. And this is the first step in our undoing and the remembrance of who we were before we were born into these bodies. All right, here we go. Close your eyes and get comfortable. Let us begin with a breathing exercise intended to help you relax and bring your mind into the present moment, focusing only on the here and now. We will breathe in slowly to the count of 3, hold for the count of 3, and then exhale to the slow count of 3. We will do this 3 times. All right. Breathe in now. 1, 2, 3. Hold for 1, 2, 3. And slowly exhale now. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in again. 1, 2, 3. Hold for 1, 2, 3. And slowly exhale now. 1, 2, 3. One last time. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3. Now we have begun the relaxation process. I want you to notice how you feel a sense of privacy and comfort as you allow the sound of my voice to soothe your mind and body while I speak slowly and softly. Your body is becoming very relaxed, and you feel as though everything about you is slowing down. With each word I speak, you are feeling more and more relaxed and at peace. Moment by moment, your mind is becoming clear, calm, and quiet. As your mind clears, you relax more deeply as I continue to speak. I want you to notice that you are standing at the base of a beautiful mountain. The sun is shining, a warm, gentle breeze is softly blowing, and the mountain air smells crisp, fresh and clean, with hints of pine and damp earth. Feel the warmth of the golden sun on your skin. Feel its warm touch on your head, allowing you to let go of any excess tension in your scalp. All your thoughts seem to quiet down now as you concentrate your attention on the sun's warmth upon your face, on your cheeks, on your ears, and around your jaw. The sun's healing light seems to caress your neck and warm your throat, allowing you to relax even deeper. It feels as though hundreds of tiny fingers of light are massaging your shoulders and upper back as you relax. Waves of warmth and relaxation cascade down, down, down your arms and out through your fingers. Take a deep breath now and slowly exhale, becoming aware of this relaxing feeling traveling slowly down, filling your chest. Now a feeling of deep peace and tranquility fills your entire stomach area. Now mentally scan your hips and pelvis and let any anxiety and tension there be gently washed away by this stream of light. Become aware of your legs now. They're awash in the glow of beautiful golden light as it floods down through them. Your legs feel so relaxed. Even your feet and toes feel warm and comfortable. Warm and comfortable now. Now that your body feels relaxed and your mind is able to focus perfectly, you notice there is a safe, gentle path covered in short green grass that winds its way up the mountainside. The path looks easy to navigate and enjoyable, not too long or too strenuous at all. You begin to walk up this easy, gentle path with a soft breeze caressing your face and warm sunshine on your shoulders. You hear birds chirping in the trees around you. Their song fills the air, joining the gentle sound of wind rustling the leaves and pine needles in the trees as you walk along in a relaxed and easy way. Your bare feet are feeling refreshed in the cool, soft, thick grass beneath them as you go. Everything around you looks enchanting, peaceful, and comfortable as you begin to move up this relaxing path. The higher up the path you go, the more relaxed you feel. You feel so good walking up this path. You feel comfortable and safe walking in the peaceful serenity and beauty of this place. You know you are going somewhere really, really good. As you get closer and closer to reaching the top of the mountain, a giant tree slowly begins to come into view. This is your tree, the sentinel who guards your inner world, into which you want to go. You are at home here, and the tree guards the doorway to your home. You are safe, and you are at peace here and now, under the watch care of your tree of life. As you approach this majestic tree with its thick bark, expansive canopy of leaves, and wide girth, you see that just beyond it is the downside of the mountain. This is where you want to go. The tree recognizes you and lovingly welcomes you, allowing you to pass. There, just past the tree's trunk, a cloud is waiting to carry you ever so gently down the other side of the mountain. There is a set of 10 clouds forming a staircase down, and as you move down from cloud to cloud, you will descend deeper into the depths of your inner mind. And by the time you reach the 10th cloud, you will have arrived at your most sacred space. 1. You quietly step down onto the first cloud safely and without fear. It easily supports your full weight. You may stand, sit, or lie on it in any way you feel comfortable as it begins to gently drift down towards the next cloud below it. 2. You gently drift down to the next cloud and step onto it. It feels soft and safe as you feel yourself further descending. 3. Each cloud is taking you deeper down now, as each one slowly drifts to the next. 4. You come to the next cloud and step onto it, quietly drifting deeper down into your subconscious now. 5. Drifting down and farther in, you descend to the next cloud. 6. Still gently floating down, you sit on your cloud and slide off it to the next one, where you sit again. 7. Peacefully now, you come to the next cloud and slide onto it from a sitting position, your legs reaching it perfectly as you drift downward further still. 8. The clouds are yours, and you feel comfortable riding each one downward. 9. You've almost floated to the bottom now. The grassy ground is coming into view. 10. You're getting very close to the ground. It's just a few feet away. You step down onto the final cloud, and it gently deposits you on the ground where you stand peacefully in silence. You see nothing but fog all around you. This does not distress you. It will clear in a moment. For now, you are safe and calm. Now take a deep breath and slowly let it out. You are now standing in the sacred inner space that lies deep within yourself. It is in this space that your holy altar to God resides. Before you can move on, you must clear your altar of all that blocks your peace, your love, and light. You must let go of all barriers to your peace. Everything that you currently hold on to, ranging from fear and rage to mild irritation, is a barrier to your peace. It is time to let all of that go. You do not need any of it, because none of it is worth having. You do not want to keep what causes you pain. It only makes sense to exchange it for perfect peace. It is time to clear your altar, and afterwards, place only peace upon it. We are going to begin this process now. It does not take any amount of time to let go of pain and fear. We do not need an extravagant process. Everything that is holding you back can be exchanged for peace in a holy instant, here within this holy place. Let us begin the simple process of letting go. This will be gentle, safe, and easy. Turn around and look behind yourself. There you will see a giant hand. It is warm, kind, and comforting. It is a hand strong enough to carry away all your troubles. You feel comfortable giving your troubles to this hand in order that you may let them all go. In any way you wish, take a moment now and deposit all your thoughts of discomfort, pain, self-judgment, guilt, sadness, loss, disappointment, anger, fear, and anxiety in the palm of this great, forgiving, and loving hand. Release any addictions you have to this world, anything physical that seems to grip you and cause you suffering. This can be a substance, a person, a behavior, or obsessive thought. Many of us are addicted to fear and worry. Let all this go into the hand. None of it brings you peace. You know this because you are keeping these things and you have tried them over and over again and met with failure each time. This is insanity. Now it is time to let go of what does not work. You do not need to waste time or energy on these activities any longer. The hand will accept all you have to offer without judgment, without rejection of you. It wants to take away what holds you back, so hold nothing back. This is your golden opportunity to get rid of everything that has accumulated throughout your life all at once. There is no sense in keeping any of it. Let go of all past grievances and judgments. Consider that perhaps you've been wrong about everything. Perhaps the feeling of emptiness you have been trying to fill with things, addictions, relationships, or food has actually been here within you all along. Perhaps all you have ever wanted was the peace of God, your inner peace. A peace so complete and total that nothing in the world can disturb it. You have this peace right. You have this peace right here inside you. It is only waiting to be found and recognized. It is your divine right as a child of God to claim this peace. You are only love and light, and everything that is not love and light must be forgiven and let go of. Good. Now you see the hand gently close around all you have placed within it, and it gently floats away into the mist, taking all your pain and suffering away with it. Notice how much better you feel, how much lighter, how much more peaceful. You have never felt so good. All is forgiven. All is well. It is though nothing has ever happened to you, ever. You feel clean and innocent, holy and loving. A child born of light, radiating only love. Now, in place of all your fears, you set a white lily of forgiveness upon your inner altar. It is your offering of peace. It signifies your readiness to move forward and leave the past behind. All is healed. Now that you've gotten rid of all your burdens, you can move on to your goal in coming to this sacred space within yourself. You want to find the peace and light within you. You want to find the self, which God created you as, and not what your outer body shows you to be. You want to find your true self, which abides with God in heaven. And you'd like to hear Him speak to you. You'd like to hear the voice of God speak to you about His love for you. You have just one last thing to let go of before we move on. Your body. At this time, I want you to feel yourself lift free from your physical burden. Simply walk or float forward and leave it behind. You do not need it where we are going. It is the last thing to put down. It is a false identity. And now you step forward as radiating light, and only this. Begin to walk through the mist, gently pushing it aside as you go. It yields easily to the touch of your brilliant light, parting the way before you. As you move through the fog on your journey to the presence of God and your true self, you continue to be healed of all pain and suffering, both physical and emotional. Your problems completely vanish because they were never real problems to begin with. The truth is, you have no real problems. If they were real, they would follow you on into heaven. You know that they do not follow you after physical death because they are not here in this sacred, heavenly space within you now. You have left the body and all its problems behind you, and have entered into the realm of spirit. You are now moving into the experience of the peace and serenity of being in this sacred space. It is a space you may enter any time in your waking life. By entering this sacred space, you connect directly with the divine within you, and your life is brought to its maximal state of satisfaction, peace, and happiness. When you walk the world from within this space, you move with ease and comfort, with no pain, no anxiety, no worries, knowing only good things will come to you despite outward appearances. Love and abundance abounds in every aspect of your daily living as you live from a state of grace, in awareness of your holy union with God and all living things. His will be the eyes with which you look upon the world around you, seeing only love and kindness, safety and peace, everywhere you go. You will walk the world as one healed in his light and love, and through you, he will extend his healing to others. And so it is with faith and ease that you look out into the foggy mist around you and see, off in the distance, a radiating light shining through. You move towards it, meeting it in happy greeting. The mist becomes thinner and it parts easily before you as you make your way towards the light. As you approach, it doesn't slow, but envelops you without hesitation in its warmth and love. You are now encased by the love of God himself and your one true holy self, who is also one with him. Here, in the most sacred of all places you can possibly be, you experience the peace and silence of God. Allow him to reveal to you what he wishes you to know, what words he would speak, or what vision he would have you see. Know that this inner light is never condescending, never judgmental. It is not unloving or commanding. It does not demand anything of you. All that is required is your small willingness to accept the peace that is being offered to you. So just allow yourself to be. This light is your loving Creator and speaks only with love to you. The light brings you the deep silence and wonderful experience of pure peace and joy. This light may speak actual words to you, or show you a vision, or reveal his truth to you in some other way. Your experience will be whatever your oneness with the light brings, and whatever you are ready for, whatever you are able to accept at this time. I will give you several moments of silence now to enjoy this time with your Creator. Or if you wish, you may pause the video, and when you are ready, you will be able to resume without coming out of hypnosis. Very good. We're almost done now. What I would like you to do at this time is take special note of how good you feel. You will remember this state of peace and happiness even after you awaken from this meditation. This is a feeling and a place you carry within you always, and it can never be lost, destroyed, or taken away from you. It is an eternal place, and this is where your real world, your real self, and God reside. Whenever the world outside of you becomes more real than this one, Whenever it begins to frighten you or cause you to lose your peace, you will remember this eternal place. Your mind will immediately return to this loving, safe, and most sacred space. All you have to do to return is become present and be willing to let the world and all its problems outside of you go. Release all of it into the mists of uncertainty and move into the safety and comfort of the light. This is no idle wish or figment of your imagination. You will be truly joining with the divine creator who is your source of life. Only this is the truth. Only this is real. All else is of the ego. It is not eternal and therefore not real. Only the eternal can be taken with you into heaven, and so it is easy to determine what is real and what is not. This is the rule for making decisions about what thoughts you should keep and what ones should be discarded as untrue. Only what is eternal has been created by God and not your ego, and you only want what has been created by God. Everything else is illusion, temporary, and unreal. All right. Now, without losing any sense of peace and happiness you are feeling right now, we will begin the reawakening process. You will clearly and vividly remember everything you experienced, heard, or felt during your time within. You will awaken as I count up to 5. When I reach the number 5, you will become fully alert and wide awake. 1. You are beginning to feel more awake. You feel the weight of your body, your feet, your legs, your arms, your torso, and your head. 2. Now you are becoming more aware of your surroundings, feeling satisfied, safe, and comfortable. 3. You're looking forward to the profound positive results from this deeply healing hypnosis session. 4. Feeling absolutely happy and wonderful and more awake. 5. Now you are wide awake and fully alert. Open your eyes and be present. Welcome back. So, if you didn't get the results you were looking for while you were under that hypnosis session, that meditation, that's okay. The subconscious continues to work. The words you heard will continue to grow in your mind, and a seed has been planted. And every time you do this meditation, every time you go to that sacred place within, it becomes easier and easier. Your peace will come to you quicker and quicker, and at some point, it will overtake your life. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you if you experienced any kind of miracles as a result of this. You can reach me at my website. It's awakening, the number 2, and then onelove.com. awakening2onelove.com with the number 2 in there. I also have, like I said, the book I'm working on. So I have an author Facebook page that correlates with that, and it's called Beth Geer, G-E-E-R, author. It's a hyphen in there. And you can go to that. It's a public Facebook page. Anybody can go on there and like that and make comments or share with me. And other than that, I wish you peace and love and light. Until next time, take care now. Bye-bye.